behind the plate. And Braden Looper is on the mound. Mikasuki brings you our weather. And tonight, 82 degrees, overcast, 50-50 with the rain. What's up with that? All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed then.
I think we could put that up there every night, though. 50-50.
Well, last night with Sanchez on the mound, it was a host of left-handed bats, and with lefty West out there, Ken Maka's got Corey Hart leading off, and as many right-handed bats as he had available. And West takes aim at the Brewers. First pitch, that's a strike. Jerry Meals is calling balls and strikes tonight. The Brewers tied for the lead in the Central. The Cardinals caught him with a win last night. Both teams at 30-22. And the Marlins open play here tonight at 25-28, 6.5 behind the Phillies, who are at 30-20. Phillies have won 5 in a row. They just can't lose right now. Swinging a foul, and it's 1-2.
Corey Hart in that leadoff spot, 6th time this year that he's hit there, and it's a position that Ken Maka has kind of changed around ever since Ricky Weeks went on the disabled list.
There's that good breaking ball that we've seen West feature in both of his starts.
And already, just to the #1 hitter, we've seen a fastball, we've seen a changeup, and that breaking ball. Kind of hung that one a little bit, got away with it.
Ooh, boy.
Let's see. Can I say where was that?
Two. Hart goes after that one and punches it in the air to right field. Hermita's back, and he makes the catch.
He went right back out to the same pitch in the same spot. Let's check on the defense. Chris Coughlin back in the lineup with Alejandro De Aza in center field. Good speed out there. Bonifacio and Hanley on the left side. Uggs and Cantu on the right side. And John Baker handling Sean West. And I love that after the call missed, Corey Hart's thinking to himself, I might have gotten a break. I better swing at the next one, because he went right back with the same pitch.
Here is Casey McGee, and he takes a strike. McGee, a guy that was in the Cubs organization and claimed off waivers in the spring training. Ken Maka really likes this guy, and McGee promptly singles to left. Up comes Ryan Braun. So Braun and then Fielder. The Brewers lineup still stocked with big bats, even though they're not scoring runs right now. And Braun certainly qualifies as that with his 32 RBIs. He has eaten left-handers alive this year. 429 average, which is tops in the National League.
So a good assignment for the 22-year-old lefty. Obviously, Jerry Meals is not going to call that pitch. Now we'll just see if he stays consistent with it all night.
McGee at first. He got that corner of the plate, and that's a strike. It's 1-1. Ryan Braun, of course, a Southern California kid, huge Lakers fan. Came across the country to play his college ball at Miami. He got to the big leagues rather quickly. First round draft pick in 2005, was the 2007 National League Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he got to the big leagues quickly and made an impact quickly. Third in the MVP voting last year.
A starter on the All-Star team. Ball in the dirt, and it eats Baker up. So McKee's now at second.
Be a wild pitch. Looked like the changeup got away. And Bake scrambled after it, just couldn't keep it in front of him.
Drive to center, that's well hit, and De Aza reaches up and makes the catch. I was just about to say De Aza may have come in too far, and he almost did, but he recovers nicely.
Yeah, the other thing, too, De Aza plays a little more shallow. Look at where he is. You can see him. And he did take a little route that took him inside, and then he was able to regroup, reach up, and make the catch on a well-hit line drive off the bat of Ryan Braun. But De Aza does play a little more shallow than we see Cody Ross when Cody's in center.
Prince Fielder now 2 for 9 in the series. If you were with us for Marlins Live, you heard Steve Foster, Marlins bullpen coach, and at one point a minor league pitching coach who had Sean West use the word demeanor, which is something that has impressed everybody about Sean West just in seeing him in his 2 starts. 2-0. Pitch. Feel like a good rip at it, and that, ow, did that hurt your ears?
My head's still ringing. A little variation of the shift. Right near the microphone. With a man on second base, both Hanley and Bonifacio stay on the left side, so only Dan Uggla's into that deep shift.
Fly ball towards the line. That's going to be a long run, and Coughlin's not going to get there. He's going to land for an RBI double. All the scouting reports and all the spray charts, you can throw them all out of the window because Prince Fielder just crossed him up.
Yeah, all of a sudden he didn't have the greatest of swings. Popped it up, really, and the other way, but with everybody shifted over for him to pull, which is where you are going to play him, he's able to drop it just inside the line for an RBI double.
Here is Mike Cameron. And that hit him, apparently in the foot.
You know, we've seen a little early wildness, something we haven't seen in Sean West. Missing a couple of times in that same area, and that one catching the foot of Cameron. The pitch is supposed to be inside, but not that far. Just to illustrate the defensive alignment for Prince Fielder, by the way, he has 50 hits, and that's his 11th hit to left field. That's all.
So Fielder at second. Cameron joins him at first. And West is going to have to get J.J. Hardy. Hardy had 2 hits in the first game. An 0 for last night.
I think a test for any young pitcher. And so far, Sean West, especially his last start, a little difference that first start, but his last start didn't really have to work out of too many jams. So a good test for a young pitcher is a situation just like this one. Right now, not quite the command some of his other pitches, secondary pitches.
You can see him slam his pitching hand on his side. The 2-0. Just in reading about West, A lot of the stories mention the fact that he was a musician and still is a drummer in high school. In fact, his junior year, he wanted to join a band and just drum full time, and his father talked him out of it. Ground ball up the middle. Ugla has it. Daniel fires over to first. So the Brewers score first. They get a run. And the Marlins are coming up.
FC.
So the Brewers have a run. The Marlins will come up in this order. Chris Coghlan back in the leadoff spot. Had a night off last night. Bonifacio slides to the 2 spot. Hanley is just red hot. 3 consecutive 3-hit games. Cantu continues to swing it. Jeremy Hermida. Dan Ugla, a historic night last night. John Baker behind the plate. De Aza gives Cody Ross a night off. And West is in the 9 spot. Braden Looper is on the mound for the Brewers.
And a pitcher, Rich, that Chris Coghlan will always remember, Braden Looper. That's who Coghlan hit his first Major League home run against in Milwaukee.
He features a sinker, so that means ground balls for everybody tonight. And Coghlan is the first of the night.
Yeah, he can turn the ball over, lots of sinkers. He'll throw the splitter. So when he's on his game, yes, you will see ground balls. You talked a little bit about it, Rich. The Brewers have been in the situation we saw the Marlins go through, starting with Bush's last start. Dave Bush, Gallardo, Suppan, Parra, they've all gone 5 innings or less, with the exception of Looper, who went 7 innings his last outing. So Ken Maka's been in that position where he's had to utilize that bullpen a lot and was happy to get the 4 innings out of Burns last night.
And of course, the other night, the detonation of Jorge Julio, he was released. The injury to David Risky, he's had surgery. It's a Brewers bullpen that has been thinned for a lot of reasons. Overwork, injuries. And Ken Maka, Freddie can feel your pain, because the Marlins were in the exact same spot when the Fish were in Milwaukee. Bonifacio takes up, and he's run the count now to 3-1. Hanley to follow. Looper, 34 now. A strike. The former first-round pick. Actually was the 3rd overall pick of the 1996 draft. The Cardinals took him out of Wichita State.
Yeah, it's interesting. Selected by the Cardinals. Then the Cardinals traded him to the Marlins in that deal that sent Edgar Renteria to St. Louis. And then St. Louis eventually got him back.
And he knew eventually he would get back to a team that had a shock of wheat on his hat. the Wichita State Shockers. That's inside, and Tommy, there's a good illustration right there. Jerry Meals did not call that pitch for Sean West, and he did not call it for Braden Looper. So everybody be on the alert, especially for the defense.
Hey, he's consistent. How about that Brewer defense? Braun, Cameron with 3 Gold Gloves. Corey Hart in right. Bill Hall and Hardy, Jason McGee, and Prince Fielder. Jason Kendall's caught every game. Jason Kendall, so far this year, this is his 45th start.
Yikes. For a guy that's about to turn 35. Here's Hanley, and Bonifacio with just his 16th walk this year as a board. And Looper misses inside, and we'll see if Bonifacio is turned loose.
Boy, Hanley's average has just soared over the last 3-4 games. He's had 3 straight 3-hit games.
Carlos Beltran continues to lead the league in hitting, but has not been in the lineup for the last 4 ball games. And we saw it when the Marlins were in New York. Beltran out with the flu, and he and John Maine. It sounds like Beltran has it worse than Maine. Maine was back in uniform last night. Beltran was not.
The thing about Hanley's surge is that a lot of his base hits, I mean, he's driven the ball all over the place, but a lot of base hits into right field, line drives into right field.
Let me amend that. Miguel Tejada passed Beltran with a hot night last night. So it's Tejada, Beltran, and Hanley.
Notice how quickly Braden Looper is to the plate. At times he can be tough to get any kind of a jump against.
Well, as a reliever, and he spent a good part of his career as a reliever, used to working from the stretch.
Boy, Hanley has a lot of things going for him in this game and against the Brewers. He's hitting .429 in his career against Milwaukee. He's hit in 19 of 21 games.
And of course, the 3 consecutive 3-hit games, 11 for his last 18 at the plate. Looper picking at that corner.
Boy, there's some of those numbers on Hanley Ramirez. You see in the video a couple of shots into right field. 400 with runners in scoring position, 17 doubles, and 11 for his last 18.
And importantly for the Marlins, still in the lineup despite the sore groin. 2-2. Bonifacio is running. Hanley, it's a foul ball. Just foul. And the count's still 2-2. Kendall trying to pounce on that.
A little more of a leg kick from Looper that time, and a pretty good jump by Bonifacio.
So 2-2. He's running again, and Hanley tries it to right center field, hits it deep. Cameron in full flight is there and makes the catch. Mike Cameron is one of those gliders out in center field, like Carlos Beltran or an Andrew Jones. He takes great routes. He has the speed, and he makes it look effortless.
Yeah, look at how he had his head down because he knew exactly where he was going to go. He knew where that ball was going to come down. That's a great description of glider. It doesn't look like he's panicking. You don't know if he's going to catch up to it, but he finds a way to get there. On the move, Bonifacio had to hustle back to get to first base.
Now Cantu. Cantu's driven in a couple runs in this series. 39 RBIs. He's the team leader, and he's been the team leader virtually the entire season, but Dan Uggla is right behind him now at 38. And Uggla is the team leader in home runs now with 10. Cat and mouse being played right now with Bonifacio at first.
Yeah, let's see if Bonifacio tries to get himself in scoring position for Jorge.
You know, Jason Kendall last year, not only did he catch 149 games, but he threw out close to 40% of all base runners, and that was a career high for him. That's amazing that a catcher at his age, 34, would do that.
He's gotten better. In his days with Pittsburgh, he was more of an offensive catcher than a guy who would throw guys out.
Bill Hall across the diamond, and the Marlins are done in the first. 1-0. Brewers up.
Moonshot.
That's what I was waiting for. You can become a Marlins season ticket holder in 2009 and enjoy the best rewards and benefits in the majors. Enjoy great savings by choosing from a variety of plans starting at just $85. 1-877-MARLINS. The Yankees are coming. Closing day, Super Saturdays. All of that and dinner could be yours. What a smile. Here's Bill Hall. Let's see how Sean West reacts here in the second inning. Bill Hall is usually a pretty durable and dependable guy who last year did not have a good year, and he's struggling again this season. There's a pop out into shallow right center. Uggla hauls it in.
Yeah, Bill Hall now just 5 for his last 53. Here's a guy who in 2006 hit 30 home runs. Hit 270, had 30 home runs.
Yeah, he hit just 225 last year. Here is Kendall.
Good sign, because that was a nice changeup from Sean West.
How's the eye looking tonight?
It's getting that kind of that yellowy color. You know, you go from the purpley blue to yellow.
That's a nice visual for those sitting down for dinner. Kendall told us yesterday, in case you weren't with us last night, he got that shiner, which was a lot worse 2 nights ago, from a backswing. A hitter clipped him right on the mask, and the bat and the mask all hammered him right in the eye. Always been a tough guy, though. Cantu has room and makes the catch. Good play by Jorge. Going from the grass to that rubber stuff isn't easy.
Another nice changeup.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, it's a rematch of the NLCS, the Phillies and the Dodgers. Fox Saturday Baseball returns this week, 4 Eastern, on Fox.
Two teams that are playing spectacular baseball. Dodgers with a 9-game lead over the Giants.
Drive to center. De Aza got a good jump. Looper's a good hitting pitcher. Sean West, just a 6-pitch inning. Jeremy Hermita's been swinging a hot bat, and he's coming up. Marlins down a run. Our Geico quote of the night, and it comes from Dan Uggla, who's due up second this inning. To get it over with, it's a relief. Now I don't have to worry about it. I'm excited, but it's over and done with now on his 100th home run.
I guess the amazing thing, he was only worrying about it a couple of days because he said he really didn't know until Monday, until somebody mentioned it to him.
And he really wasn't all that aware the whole record and fastest to 100. He had heard about it, but he really hadn't paid a lot of attention to it.
You know, I think, Rich, it's one of those things, if he were to sit down and make a list of some of the second basemen that have played this game, Hall of Famers, and even go back into the 20s and 30s and guys who were power hitters at that position, then it would have a big impact on him, I think.
Quickest second baseman to hit 100 career home runs in Major League history, 509 games. Hermita. Jeremy, to be followed by Uggla, then Baker. And a high fastball. Usually don't get too many of those from Braden Looper, high fastballs. I think Looper is a great example of, he may not have the two-seamer that a Josh Johnson has, or as sharp a curveball as a Ricky Nolasco has, or as good a changeup as a Moyer or a Sonnenstein or some of the other guys that have great changeups. But all of those pitches are pretty good for him. And just the combination of those pitches has allowed him to have success in the big leagues.
That's the whole key. If you can have command of those pitches, if you can have command of 3 pitches as a starter, they don't have to be plus pitches, but you're going to have success. And there's the splitter or changeup, and he has Hermita fooled.
Of course, Marlin fans remember him and his days with the Fish.
5 years as a member of the Fish, and in 03, 6-4, a 3.68 ERA, 28 saves. Now remember, down at the end of the season, Uget Urbina came on board, was closing out games, but a big part of the 03 championship season, Braden Looper.
Here is Dan Uggla.
And he was 3 years with the Cardinals. His first year, 69 games out of the bullpen. His last 2 years with St. Louis, 30 or more starts.
Not as celebrated as, say, a John Smoltz or even a Derek Lowe, but still a guy that has done both closing and starting.
Speaking of John Smoltz, there's an interesting note on the Boston Red Sox right-hander that the projected date of his return is the Tuesday night the Marlins are at Fenway Park.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. Uggla got jammed and pops it up. The expected return date of Tom Glavine is, well, in question, because about an hour before this game started, news broke out of Atlanta that the Braves have released Glavine.
What's an interesting story.
Yeah, Glavine had made his rehab starts and was expected to be added to the big league roster. The Braves, however, $1 million as soon as he was on the roster, and after another 2 or 3 months on the club, another $1.25 million. Rather than dole out $2.5 million or thereabouts, the Braves weren't all that impressed with what they saw with Glavine, and they released him. Baker takes outside. We told you Coghlan homered off with Looper. So did Baker up in Milwaukee.
Yeah, Looper has allowed 11 home runs this year. So it's kind of decision time now for Tom Glavine, whether he just accepts that and retires, or if he still thinks that he can pitch. See if he can hook on with somebody.
Well, there's plenty of teams out there looking for pitching.
Yeah. If he thinks he can pitch, somebody will grab him, yeah. I mean, even now, he throws harder than Jamie Moyer.
But he has not been as effective as Moyer in his later years as Moyer has been. Baker lines that one to left. And it's caught by Braun. 1, 2, 3 go to Fish in the second. To the third we go. Sean West gave up that bloop double, an RBI double to Prince Fielder back in the first inning, and that's it for the Brewers.
It was a nice comeback, I thought, for Sean West. Change up to get Bill Hall. He was able to reestablish that off-speed pitch. Another good change up to get Jason Kendall. Challenges Braden Looper and had a 6-pitch 1-2-3 inning.
So it's the second time around for the Brewers. Their second look at West. Corey Hart, Casey McGee, and Ryan Braun. I think in looking at this Brewers team, they've got plenty of pop. I don't think scoring runs the rest of the year is going to be an issue for them. They could use a leadoff hitter, that's for sure, but it's not always a necessity. Ken Maka's team, one of the better offensive teams this year. The rotation, that's an area where many people feel the Brewers may want to try to add. Obviously, they had CC Sabathia there for the stretch run last year.
Yeah, I'll tell you what they don't have in their rotation, and not every team does. They don't have that absolute ace. They have a lot of good major league pitchers, a lot of number 3 starters, 2 or 3 starters. They don't have that absolute number 1.
Tell you what, there'll be a lot of teams looking for one of those guys pretty soon with the June draft coming up. There's that pitch that has not been a strike for either West or Looper.
Yeah, I think Mark Wiley may be going out there because he's seen a little reaction from Sean West on a couple of those calls. He just wants to make sure he calms him down, gets him back in the game. We talked about that article, a nice article today in the Palm Beach Post about Sean West. And his dad didn't allow him to throw breaking balls through high school. So that's why he has pretty good changeup and developed the breaking pitch as he got into professional baseball.
His parents, Bobby and Cindy, obviously very proud, but in that article, the story of Sean wanting to quit school and just become a drummer, and his father had played minor league baseball, and he knew that Sean had the talent, and he made him stick with it. And of course, he went on to have a great senior year in high school and go as a sandwich pick. That's the area between the first and the second rounds. You're called the first round pick, but those supplemental picks come after the initial first round.
Yeah, he was the 44th player selected in 05.
He's got a brother, Lance, who is in the Orioles system, a good first baseman. A younger brother, Jared, who was 15, also a pitcher. He's run 3-0 now to McGee.
And that's after walking Corey Hart. He went 3-0 to Hart and then eventually walked him.
That would be a strike. Danger lurks. Hart can steal a base. And McGee sends it out into shallow center. Ugla. One almost popped out of his glove. $250,000 Mustang Money tickets are now on sale. Register your non-winning tickets through June 11th. It's a second chance to win great prizes like a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. Now Braun.
You know, you think about it, and it's one thing when you watch, and this is what's been impressive in watching Chris Volstead, but when you have a frame that's 6'8" and you get a little out of whack as far as your mechanics, it's harder to get it back. And a guy like Chris has been so consistent. And it's something, obviously, that Sean West will always have to work on.
Well, he's got company. I mean, the Marlins
yeah.
have a few guys like that.
A couple of guys, 6'7", and Andrew Miller and Josh Johnson.
And, of course, Volstad and West. On Monday, the Marlins will face one of the tallest pitchers in baseball.
And we could have this matchup. We could have Sean West against Randy Johnson.
Randy Johnson scheduled to face the Washington Nationals tonight. That game, the start of it delayed by rain.
There's a well-documented story on Randy Johnson, who struggled with his mechanics early on in his career, and when he was with Seattle had a little side session with Nolan Ryan
and Tom House,
the pitching coach, and basically one little change, instead of landing on his heel, he started to land on that instep on his right foot, and
everything changed.
Made a world of difference. So you would think a lot of tall pitchers would just think about that story if they ever struggled, and think about how they landed.
Tom House was the pitching coach in Texas at that time.
One of his drills was having all of his pitchers throw footballs. His feeling was that if you could throw a real nice perfect spiral, then you had good mechanics. If you didn't have good mechanics, you couldn't throw a good spiral.
Wasn't Tom House the guy that caught Henry Aaron's home run ball?
Yes, he was in the bullpen. A little left-handed relief pitcher. He was in the bullpen in Atlanta.
1-2 pitch.
Tom House, a pretty good pitcher at USC, University of Southern California.
Corey Hart's at first. Ryan Braun with a 2-2 count.
I don't know if Hart will run here. He probably will go on a 3-2 pitch.
Breaking ball is hit a long ways to left field, up into the seats, the blue seats. Ryan Braun.
For the most part, the Marlins have held Ryan Braun in check. He was 2 for 19 against the Marlins this year with no home runs before that swing. And it's only his second career home run against the pitch. A no-doubter on a breaking ball, flattened out, and look at the swing of Ryan Braun, a powerful swing.
So Prince Fielder's up, and the lead is stretched to 3.
Remember, it was Ryan Braun who hit that line drive to straightaway center field. He's hit a couple of balls right on the nose.
Fielder hit that soft fly ball that fell into left down the line for a double. Fielder first caught baseball's attention when he was a 12-year-old taking batting practice at Tiger Stadium, his father's team, and he was sending balls into the upper deck.
And then the sad news about Tiger Stadium. I was reading today that the city rejected a proposal to preserve Tiger Stadium, and it will be demolished. So a sad day in the life of our esteemed director, Jim Holly,
who still wears his Al Kaline pajamas every night.
Doubly sad given the fact that the Red Wings lost last night too.
Here's Mike Cameron. Cameron was hitting the foot back in the first inning. De Aza out from under his cap, makes the catch, but Ryan Braun makes Sean West pay for that. De Aza with the Sean West and Chris Coughlin, hoping to see De Aza do his little run up, try to slap a hit routine, something he's actually pretty good at. Takes a strike.
One thing, Rich, the Marlins have to keep in mind, the last time they faced Braden Looper, he went 6 innings, but they got 8 hits and 5 runs off him. But he had a little trouble getting out of the gate, because he gave up 3 of those runs in the first inning, a couple of them coming on that Chris Coughlin home run.
1 ball and 2 strikes. His last time out was one of his best outings of the year. 7 innings of 2-hit, 2-run ball to beat Cincinnati.
He's really made an interesting transition when he was a reliever, especially in his years with the Marlins. More of a power guy. He's a real finesse guy. You see a lot of splitters, a lot of off-speed pitches.
Well, those are the guys that stay in the game and pitch into their 30s, later maybe into their 40s, are the guys, because it's a freak of nature that can be a power pitcher into his 40s.
Yeah, and I think it's helped him make that transition from a reliever to a starting pitcher.
Sean West behind in the count quickly, 0-2. In fact, you wonder if in this day and age where drug testing has been increased and steroids drop, at least in theory, if there will be fewer power pitchers into their mid to late 30s. If guys have to be more looperish and learn how to pitch with touch.
Interesting theory.
Swing and a miss. We check in with Craig Minervini.
Thank you very much, Rich. Cody Ross has been a red-hot hitter for the Marlins of late. He's hitting 14 out of the last 18, batting .359 over that stretch. And last night he hit his 4th grand slam of his career and 2nd of the season. Now, I was talking to Cody today about just how he's been able to do this, and he said, well, the real key for him has been, well, take a look at this. It was a commercial promo shoot. He was hitting about 150 at the time. We'll show you it after the pitch. And Cody said, he talked to Dan Uggla, his good buddy, and he said, Dan, I got to get out of this streak. You got a piggy bank. I'm going to work on it, and would you mind? And he, as he said, he barreled up on the piggy bank. Since then, he's hitting 200 points higher, 369. I told Jim Presley about that. He said, I got to get me about 20 of those piggy banks and work with the guys. Cody getting a night off tonight, but he's been red hot for the Marlins.
It's the Dan Uggla bank.
It's a great Dan Uggla bank. That's right. They'll be given away this weekend. Sunday?
We don't recommend that to children at home.
Not at home. That's to keep your pennies in the piggy bank, not the barrel of your bat.
That's right. It's saved for college.
2-1 to Chris Coghlan. He bounced out back in the first. Cooper drops in a strike. Bill Hall, Braden Looper is in a groove right now, shutting out the Fish as we go to the fourth. I don't know what to say. 3-0. The Marlins trailing right now to the Brewers.
They want a Mezzica.
The Brewers have one 30-homer, 30 stolen base club member. Who is he? He's not the guy in that hat either. 30-homer, 30 stolen bases. J.J. Hardy, Bill Hall, Jason Kendall. Well, you think automatically of a Robin Yount, maybe? Who are some of the...
Now, you want to say Paul Molitor, but he was more line drive.
How about Sheffield?
Yeah, but he was there at a real early age. He was there as a teenager. Came up, signed as a shortstop. Gorman Thomas.
Oh, you think Gorman stole 30 bases? Did Ben Oglivie hit 30 homers? That one's fouled back. How about a guy like
Cecil Cooper?
Yeah, Greg Vaughn. I don't think. Do you think Greg Vaughn may have stolen 30 bases?
You know, he could hit 30.
I know John Jaha didn't.
John Jaha.
That's down low. Brewers always seem to have that guy, the John Jaha, Greg Vaughn type guy. The 80s or the 90s. Rob Deere is another one. Jim Holly, our director, offering that one up. Bill Hall now. Sean West couldn't pitch around the leadoff walk in the third because he walked Hart, who scored on the Braun home run.
Yeah, back-to-back innings now. He's walked the leadoff man.
The Brewers are really hoping that Bill Hall's stroke comes back to him. He's such a valuable guy. He can play anywhere. In fact, he's been a starter at second, at short, at third, and in center field in his career.
For Sean West, when he was called up to the Marlins, was in AA at Jacksonville, was 4-2. 8 starts down there. Missed all of 07. He had shoulder surgery.
Fourth inning, he's at 61 pitches.
Boy, there were some gems pitched in the major leagues last night.
You might want to rethink that whole hoping to see Roy Halladay thing.
Yeah, Roy Halladay, a complete game 6-4 win. Struck out 14 Angels. And he's gone 7 innings or more in all 12 of his starts this year. He's 9-1. He threw 130 pitches last night, and he struck out the side in the 9th inning.
That's old school.
Yeah. I'm sure his manager, Cito Gaston, said, "Doc, you got it in the 9th."
How about Antonio Bastardo of the Phillies?
Something they need certainly is another starter to fill in for Brett Myers.
His name, you know, when all of a sudden they were looking for pitching, a list of prospects that they might be offering up for a trade, his name was bandied about. But as well as he pitched last night, he could be a part of that rotation, and that might buy the Phillies some more time before they have to make a deal.
Well, they beat the Padres 10-5 last night. Bastardo getting the win. Raul Ibanez hit 2 home runs and had 5 RBIs, 19 home runs, 51 RBIs now for Ibanez. And just as a side note, Adrian Gonzalez hit another home run. 4 straight games he's homered in.
Hall takes a called third strike.
Good job, good pitch. After the leadoff walk, Sean West came back and made some nice pitches. And finally, with the fastball, paints the inside part of the plate. And that's something that he has to do. Work inside and outside. Work both sides of the plate.
Here is Kendall. Ichiro had a hit again. He's got 26 games on his hitting streak. They take on Baltimore tonight.
Remember, he didn't start the season active. He was on the disabled list. But hitting .353 and in the midst of a 26-game hitting streak.
That one fouled back. We told you earlier that the Braves today releasing Tom Glavine. Also yesterday they sent down Jordan Schaefer, a young prospect in center field. And so, you know, you see the struggles of a guy like Cameron Maybin. he's not alone. There are lots of guys that, in their first taste of the big leagues, don't have success.
And by the way, Maben 4 for 5 last night.
Super Saturday on the 6th. It's Country Western night because Phil Vassar is in concert. Fireworks spectacular. Marlins take on the Giants. Fans get a Marlins rattle drum courtesy of Majestic Athletic.
Yeah, good to see you and checking some of the minor league numbers. The Zephyrs of New Orleans winning their game against Albuquerque, and Cameron Maben was 4 for 5.
By the way, Phil Vassar will be signing autographs at the strike zone before the game on Saturday. There will be Marlins cowboy hats available at section 146. Apparently there's going to be a mechanical bull and bales of hay. And I mean, is that a Frankfurt or a Craig Minervini game? Well, we're not on TV on Saturday. What am I thinking?
Yeah, we're not here.
I was thinking that the ball gets in the dirt and it squirts away from Baker. How much fun that would be. There's a Marlins cowboy hat. How much fun it would be to put Craig or Frank, or maybe both at the same time, on the mechanical bull.
Yeah, a little challenge. A little challenge. Well, he's fallen behind Looper. You mentioned Looper, a good hitting pitcher. He hasn't shown it this year, 1 for 16, but he had 16 hits last year. Hit 254.
He's a career over 200 hitter. I think he was career 205, 206.
And a no-no right there. Remember back in the second inning when Sean had that 1-2-3 inning, he went right after Looper. First pitch got him on a long fly ball. Here in the fourth, had trouble throwing strikes to him.
So now he's got to face Corey Hart. Jordan Schaefer was hitting 204 with 63 strikeouts when he was sent down.
Yeah, the last time we saw the Braves, and he was getting overmatched in many of his at-bats at that time. And I think as the Marlins did with Cameron Maben, you just don't want to shoot down a young player's mental approach and his confidence, and you want him to go back to the minor leagues, try to get that confidence. And I'm sure if Cameron Maben continues on a nice run, we'll see him back here. No question about it.
By the way, that game up in Washington is still delayed. That's Randy Johnson against Jordan Zimmerman. There's Corey Hart. The Braves are trailing the Cubs 2-0 in the fourth. Here, Brewers have 3 runs against Sean West. RBI double in the first. That by Prince Fielder, and a 2-run Ryan Braun homer in the third. A knee-high strike on a very tall man.
You know, the good news, and you just continue to look back at that game last night. There's borderline, and he got the call. Was the 5 innings that Burke Badenhop gave the ball club out of the bullpen. So the bullpen's in good shape tonight.
Hayden Penn, who finished last night's game. Two.
Yeah, this is his third start. This has been a start where Sean West has shown his youth. Doesn't have the command that he's had in his previous 2 starts.
Got some help from Hart, who went out of the zone.
In one of those other well-pitched games last night, the left-hander with the Pirates, Zach Duke, 7 innings against the Mets and beat Johan Santana 3-1.
Two and two. Tonight, the Mets and Pirates have already been rained out. Phillies and Padres in San Diego tonight. Corey Hart's a tough guy to walk. All right, it's coming up. Magic and Lakers NBA championship, live post-game coverage on Sun Sports. That's tomorrow after Game 1, right after the game on Sun Sports. Change up. Good time for one. Marlins trying to get something going against Braden Looper. Bonifacio. Baseball on Sun Sports is brought to you by Marooney. Hey, South Florida, when you need a car, truck, or van, who are you going to call? 1-877-Marooney. By Checkers, Little Place, Big Taste. And by Corona, official sponsor of the timeout. Landshark Stadium. 3-0, Milwaukee on top. It's the bottom of the fourth. Rich Waltz, Tommy Hutt, Craig Minervini. John Sulzer is our producer. Jim Hawley is our director. Ken Lee is our award-winning graphics coordinator.
I mean, award-winning.
And Ken Lee just alerted us to this story that has appeared on MLB.com, that the Braves have acquired a center fielder, and a good one, Nate McLouth, from the Pirates for 3 of their top prospects.
Right now, Rich, the Marlins just trying to get a base hit off Braden Looper. They've had a base runner. He walked Bonifacio in the first inning, and that's it. So who'd they give up to get Nate McLouth?
Gorkys Hernandez, an outfielder.
Okay.
Left-handed pitcher Jeff Locke, and right-handed pitcher Charlie Morton. McLouth, a Gold Glover. Will add a little bit of pop to that Braves outfield that has been lacking home run power. Let's bring on the duck. Who are you going with in this one?
Boy, I tell you, I like. I'm going to go with Robin Yount.
I'll go Greg Vaughn.
Okay, Greg Vaughn's a good one. I like that choice.
Tommy Harper.
Tommy Harper.
Oh, he's a good player.
Yeah. 31-38 back in 1970 for the American League Milwaukee Brewers.
That's right. The Brewers changed leagues. They went from American League to National League to Bill Hall to Prince Fielder. We had that question as on an email Tuesday night in Milwaukee about that move. And it was all part of expansion and the wild card and needing to have an even number of teams in each league. And the Brewers made the swap. Bud Selig, as I remember it, didn't Bud Selig actually give another team a choice? I think the Kansas City Royals had first choice.
I think so, yes.
And they decided to stay in the American League.
I think the thought there was that Kansas City had kind of been always a National League type ball club. Played that type of baseball.
Milwaukee had been. Or Kansas City.
Kansas City had been, yeah.
There's a strike. It's a Cantu.
Tell you, Looper doing it with ease out there.
Cantu goes up and gets one and hits it deep to left. Braun is back. Gone.
Well, with ease, but he got one up in the zone. And for Jorge Cantu, number 9 on the year. We told you Looper given up 11 this year. That's number 12. And for him to have success, he's got to stay down. So all of a sudden, the no-hitter's gone for him. The shutout's gone for him. And Jorge Cantu has gotten the Marlins on the board. Watch where this pitch is. Good adjustment, good solid swing by Cantu.
Jeremy Hermida.
We talked about Jorge Cantu. He's on a nice little run now, 7 of his last 19. His last home run was back on May 6th against the Atlanta Braves. So good to see the swing coming back.
Hermida skies one out towards left center. Braun is there. And he makes the catch. Inning over, but the Marlins are on the board.
Presentado por KFC.
Hello, Cookie. Hello, Raul. Let's try that again. Hi, guys. Well, not tonight. They're not in a very talkative mood, apparently.
Cookie was very talkative before we went on the air.
One more.
Hey, guys.
Rich, what's up?
Tell me how are you?
There you are. We had a little trouble there getting to you.
Nothing that our crew can't handle, huh?
Okay.
No, under control. As Braden Looper has been tonight. Cookie, your chance to see Sean West. What do you think of the kid tonight?
Well, it's the first time that I have a chance to see him. You know, he pitched both times on the road. You know, he struggled a little bit earlier, you know, throwing a lot of changeups and wild pitches a little bit. But I like his composure on the mound. You know, he doesn't get excited. And he's got out of a couple of situations. So we need just to get a little more offense to help him out this night.
As a matter of fact, guys, we were noticing that his velocity was a little bit down from his last start here at the stadium. Roletazo por tercera base y del 5 al 3 sacan el out.
See, I could listen to you guys do that all night. Huh? Right.
Hey, you can learn a lot that way.
I know. All right, guys, have a good show.
You too, fellas.
I think the one thing about Sean West, he's not going to get 95 miles an hour. He most of the time is going to pitch in the low 90s is where he's going to stay.
Brian Braun hit a long home run in the third inning. West had thrown a pitch that was a borderline strike that would have been strike 3 in the at bat. He didn't get the call, and then he had to come back with this.
And it's a pitch he's thrown fewer times than the changeup. He's used the fastball and changeup, and he tried to spin the breaking ball there, and Braun hit it hard.
Hanley not going to get Braun. I would guess a base hit.
Braun runs exceptionally well. It would have been a close play if Hanley picks it and straightens up and fires. He might get Braun. He's going to be charged with an error. And Braun kind of thinking he may have gotten a hit there.
Here's Prince Fielder. Shift is on. It was his double down the left field line that got the scoring started. The Marlins finally have their first hit and their first run coming on the Cantu homer. That ball's hit hard. De Aza races up to get it. So an error and a single, and it's Mike Cameron time. And it might be Hayden Penn time here.
Yeah, I think so. I think Freddie wants to get a matchup righty against righty. He sees the score 3-1. He wants to keep it that way. And so he didn't hesitate. He's seen the struggles tonight of Sean West, and he goes to the bullpen.
Right around 90 pitches. He's on his way out. Here's Harper Mooney. Called to the bullpen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Marooney.
tonight. A chance here on the crew to surprise someone. That is Kim Butler. And a happy birthday, Billy the Marlin. Part of our crew, part of the broadcast family here.
Her husband, Mark, our esteemed audio. What do you call audio what? There could be an Emmy-winning and award-winning audio engineer.
Generally well regarded.
And generally well regarded, yeah.
And well behaved.
So says Kim.
Notice it was Billy, though, that was presenting her with the flowers and the present.
Yeah, that's a key moment, I think, in the ballgame to shut down this Brewer rally here and keep it a 3-1 game. Remember last night, Hayden Penn came in the game after the 5 innings of hoppers and gave up a home run, a 2-run shot to Corey Hart.
Two and one. The couple selecting their all-star team.
Yeah, that's a. You know, he's saying this guy's
hurt. This guy's
this guy's having a good year, and she's saying, but I like his name.
Oh, come on now. She might be the one that's saying, you know what, Ryan Braun's OPS is sky high. I like him.
Braun just went deep.
Now, who do I go with, Hanley or Miguel Tejada, who's hot right now?
Nah, you got to go with Hanley.
Well, that's not what the Marlins had in mind. A walk to Cameron. Here comes Hardy. Hayden Penn last night ran into Corey Hart in the 9th inning, or maybe the other way around. Hart ran into Hayden Penn for a 2-run homer. And so they're loaded with 1 out. Hardy, the Brewers shortstop. You made a good point early in the telecast in talking about last night's Anibal Sanchez / Burke Badenhop start, and that it was nice to have Badenhop in reserve. But the fact that he had to go 5 innings meant the Marlins needed a deep start from Sean West. Of course, West goes 4 1/3 in this one. Tapper to third. Bonifacio's coming home. That's a heck of a play. That's a play that a lot of third basemen can't make. But if you've got middle infield skills and you can make the transfer like that, Bonifacio gets the out.
Talk about an outfielder getting a good jump, a base runner getting a good jump. Bonifacio got a great jump there to charge this ball, keep his concentration, then all while on the move, make the throw, and a good throw to the plate. John Baker realized no chance for double play. Just catch it, get out of there, and get the out. Nicely done by Bonifacio.
Bill Hall now. So Penn, despite some wildness, has a chance to get out of this inning. 2-0.
And now Hall has a pretty good idea. He's going to see that fastball.
He may not see a strike.
To me, the look tells it all.
There's a strike. And it's 3-1. Bases filled with Brewers. Hayden Penn in relief. And he walks in a run.
If you want to keep your job up at this level and you're working out of the bullpen, you have to come in and throw strikes, especially if you're called upon in situations with men on base. And Hayden Penn has walked 2 since coming into the game.
Really no other alternative for the Marlins because of Badenhop's extended outing yesterday. 0-1 to Kendall. Cameron.
If you count tonight, Rich, Hayden Penn has allowed 7 of 14 inherited runners to score.
Kendall goes after a pitch that was low, and it's 1-2. Well, there might have been a time in baseball where if you had a reliever or a guy that really wasn't pitching that well, you could hide him and bring him in just to mop up every now and then. But I think those days are long gone.
You need them now.
Yes.
If you have 12 guys down in that bullpen, you need all 12. If you have 8 guys down there, 7 guys, you need them all.
Two and two. Full count.
And this is unfortunate. It is truly unfortunate because there have been guys that have been here that have been sent down who have thrown better. And all of a sudden, if he stays in there and this thing gets blown up, the game's going to be out of hand halfway through the game.
See what he comes with. 3 and 2.
He got help. That was ball 4. Kendall, a tough guy to strike out. Doesn't strike out much.
Lost him. So he's walked 3, and now the Marlins are forced to get somebody else up in the bullpen. Mark Wiley out to talk to Hayden Penn. Brian Sanchez is up.
Not much to say. I know I'm pretty quiet here because you know how I feel about this situation. I think it's unfortunate because Hayden Penn's out of options. You can't send him back to the minor leagues. Well, you can. You can put him on waivers.
Right. If he is sent to the minor leagues, then he's exposed, and other teams can claim him, or he can refuse the assignment and go somewhere else.
But if you can't rely on somebody out of that bullpen, and you look at his numbers, and it tells you that you cannot rely on him. And you bring him into a game like this, and all of a sudden 3-1 becomes 5-1, and things get out of hand.
This is the pitcher, Looper, so if ever there was an escape hatch, it's right here. Two and one. And it's 3-1. So the pitcher, Looper, is up, and Penn obviously can't find the plate. He has walked 3 of the 4 he's faced, and he finishes it by walking Looper. Crowd obviously not happy.
And in Freddie's defense, you have to play with the hand you're dealt. And if you're dealt a bad hand, you still have to hang in there and try to play with it.
Curveball is a strike to Hart. Remember, the inning got started after one was out. The tough backhand play to Hanley off the bat of Ryan Braun was ruled an error. And then Fielder singled, and that was it for West. Penn obviously struggling now. And that's it. Freddie's on his way, and he'll come get the ball from Hayden Penn and hope that Brian Sanchez can restore some order in what was a 3-1 game is now a 6-1 game with the Brewers on top. Here's Armarooney called to the bullpen. Our road ahead, back at it with the Brewers tomorrow night. Then the Giants are here for 4. We've got 3 of those on television. And we invite you to join us tomorrow night, 6:30, for Marlins Live. Ryan Sanchez comes in, and remember the count is 2-1 on Corey Hart. So no chance to dip your toe in the pool and feel around. You got to come in and throw strikes right away. And he gets some help.
And usually as a hitter, you know you're going to see that heat on the first pitch because he knows Sanchez needs to throw a strike.
Time is called. Sanchez steps off the mound.
Talking about the hand you're dealt, the long man in this game was Hayden Penn. He had to be used. You don't want to use Sanchez for 2 or 3 innings.
Ooh. It's 3-2. Wow. Hart is a free swinger. And he cracks that one to third. Bonifacio knocks it down, picks it up, and the throw is low. Another run across. It's 7-1. It'll be an error on Bonifacio.
Well, once he knocked it down and then picked it up to throw, he hurried the throw. The throw was low, and Jorge Cantu didn't want to let it get by him, so he came off the bag to block it and keep it in front of him. Tough to make a quick play like that when there have been 4 walks in the inning. You've been standing out there for 30 minutes.
No RBI on the play. Here's McGee. By the way, Josh Beckett is pitching tonight in Detroit. Has a no-hitter in the bottom of the 7th. Wow. And 1 out. 4-0 Boston. There's a drive to left center field. That's going to clean a couple of runs up. 2 will score. Kendall and Looper. And McGee is in with a 2-run double. So a messy inning gets even worse. Two errors in the inning. 4 walks in the inning. And here's Ryan Braun.
This has been a game, a series of messy innings. Remember the Marlins 5-run 6th the other night? Wasn't the prettiest 5 runs.
This is now a 6-run 5th. Oh, 2.
And the problem now is that Sanchez is going to have to go a little longer than Freddie had hoped for. And he'll have to use a couple of other guys out of that bullpen. Guys that you would rather bring into a closer game.
Right. Yeah, because there's no days off. You've got the Giants in on Friday. Cardinals.
It's amazing
right behind them
when a starter can't take you deep into the game, and unfortunately Sean West couldn't do that, and he didn't get any help from Hayden Penn.
That's strike 3, and the inning is over. But the Brewers are up big now. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. Well, Marlins got a lot of making up to do. After a big crooked number is hung up there in the 5th.
You know, as crazy as this series is gone, there's still time. You remember Looper has had a long time in between innings, plus he was out there on the bases.
Yeah, he drew one of the 3 consecutive bases loaded walks. It takes down low. Looper has given up just 1 hit, and it was a home run. It was Cantu's in the 4th. A trio of strikeouts for Looper. He's walked 1. Two coming. Douglas smacks it into right center field. Cameron, boy, did he get over there quickly. That ball was hit. Dan's got a hit. Marlins have a runner here in the 5th.
You know, when he stays back and drives the ball in that direction, he really is locked in. And we could tell that with that home run last night. That ball was hit a lot harder than most people thought. Yeah, Mike Cameron included.
Baker pulls one into right field. Curtis Granderson just singled against Beckett in the bottom of the 7th, so the no-hitter is gone.
And by the way, that's why that 9-1 looks a lot worse than 3-1 with back-to-back singles.
Here is De Aza. Yeah, the other tough part is this. should De Aza get on, the Marlins really wouldn't have a choice but to bring Sanchez up to the plate, because they need him to pitch another inning or two.
Yeah, because nobody's warming in the bullpen. He has to hit. You can't start going to the Kiko Caleros and Dan Myers right now.
De Aza getting the start tonight. Cody Ross so far with the night off.
And it's you pointed out, it's a domino effect. Starting last night with the 3 innings of Anibal Sanchez. Now having to use Badenhop for 5. No chance. He's not available for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days. So that shortens the bullpen. And I think that's one of the misconceptions of fans. They just think you can start bringing guys in. Just bring them in every night. Doesn't matter. You can't do that over 162 games. But the problem is that you have to have quality guys out there in that situation that you can bring in for 2 or 3 innings. And right now, Freddie doesn't have that in Hayden Penn because he hasn't shown that.
Two coming. The Loopers run the count now 3-2.
And if the bases are loaded, wait till you hear the crowd react when Sanchez goes up there. Brian Sanchez to hit.
De Aza, a fly ball. Braun. That slide was more out of safety than anything because Braun was approaching that rubberized track, and you don't want to have to come to a screeching halt standing on that stuff, because that can ruin an ankle or a knee. So you're better off just going ahead and popping up on a slide on the grass. That's a base hit. Well, here's this situation that we've been talking about now. The bags are loaded. The Marlins are trying to climb back in this. They're down 8. But because of what's happened with the bullpen, because they need Sanchez to pitch another inning or two, this will be Brian Sanchez's first Major League plate appearance.
You know what? And we saw Ken Maka, the Brewer manager, in the same predicament last night. He had to leave Parra out there longer than he wanted, and Manny Parra gave up 10 runs, 11 hits and 10 runs, and then he left Burns out there. Fortunately, Burns pitched 4 good innings, but Ken Maka told me before the game that he was out there for the rest of the game regardless.
See, as you and I expected, the crowd's reacting like, what in the world is Freddie doing? But he's got no choice. I mean, if he wanted to, he could go get Calero, or he could go get someone like that, but then the Marlins would be behind the 8 ball tomorrow night, and the night after that, and the night after that.
And all of a sudden, Looper having trouble. Yeah, if you still have 4 innings left, at least. Yeah, you could use Calero, you could use Meyer, you could use Nunez, you could use Lindstrom, but why? And that's the dilemma that Freddie's in now.
Sanchez, it's a little dribbler. Looper picks it up, throws it away. How about this? Well, that wasn't so bad after all.
Now it's back to the top of the order. Freddie can breathe a big sigh of relief. And how about the first plate appearance for Brian Sanchez? He gets an infield single. It is a base hit and an RBI. Looper got a little confused, tangled up a little, thought about the plate, and by the time he decided to go to first, it was too late. Watch his feet. A little tangled up, looks at home, doesn't have a play there. and then throws it away. Fielder has to come off the bag.
Do you ask for the baseball on a hit like this?
Absolutely.
I don't think they threw the ball out. So here's Coughlin, top of the order. It's a 9-2 game. Ground ball up the middle. Got one and got two. A run scores, it's 9-3. But the Brewers gladly trade a couple outs.
Boy, that's a killer there. And Looper has had Coughlin's number. He's had him reaching and off balance all night. The 4-6-3 double play really hurts that inning.
Here is Bonifacio. Has walked and bounced out. Base hit. So the Marlins have made up some ground, but it was a vast expanse when the inning started. Now 9-4.
Nice hitting by De Aza and by Bonifacio in this inning. Staying back, going the other way, and rethinking everything. Chris Coslin's watching those at bats. That's the approach he needs to have. He's been out in front, rolled over on that off-speed pitch. So good approach by Bonifacio and De Aza.
Bill Castro, the pitching coach for the Brewers, is out. Hanley is coming up. Cubs and Braves have hit the 7th inning with the Cubs on top 2-1 in Atlanta. Houston leads Colorado 3-0 in the 4th. Reds in St. Louis up 2-0 in the 3rd. Later on tonight, the Phillies and Padres, Diamondbacks and Doyers. Our Firestone leaderboard. Average against right-handers. Look at that. Major league leaders. Every time I see A. Jones with Baltimore, you first think Andrew Jones, then you have to remind yourself it's Adam Jones.
Adam Jones, the youngster, having he's a center fielder too.
Yep.
Like an Andrew Jones. The Rangers, by the way, may be happy that they stuck with and hung with Andrew Jones, because they're going to place Josh Hamilton on the disabled list again, and he may miss some time. So they're happy to have Andrew Jones. In Texas right now, 4.5 game lead over the Angels in that American League West.
Kendall got clipped again.
That's on the other eye.
Tommy pointed out Hanley's success against the Brewers, and that's not limited to the Brewers in the division. Cantu's on deck. Hanley's 0 for 2. Marlins have 3 after giving up 6 here in the 5th. Two. That's going to put Bonifacio in motion.
Put him on the move. A gapper will score him.
Now Ken Maka's having to think about who he might have to go get. Hanley to left field. That's a base hit. Bonifacio racing for third. He'll get there. Ball gets loose. And not far enough for either Hanley or Bonifacio to move up, but it's going to bring Cantu up for another shot.
Just a quality at bat by Hanley Ramirez. Solid swing. He's continued his hot streak. 12 for his last 21. Hanley now with a 5-game hitting streak. And even when he makes outs, he's been having good swings.
Seth McClung is up. Cantu hit one out in the 4th.
Yeah, Looper's closing in on 90 pitches as well. Mistake pitch by Looper, and Cantu took care of it in the 4th inning. His 9th home run of the year, 40th RBI.
One and one. Bonifacio. Hanley. Just foul.
Wow. That would have scored 2. Hanley would have scored on that from first. Look at Bill Hall intently watching. But foul by quite a bit.
We'll expect a few sinkers here, though if Looper does bounce one, a chance for Bonifacio to score. Fastball, he fought it off into right field.
Plenty of time left. Another good at bat. Brings his hands in. Got sawed off a little bit. Cantu's been so terrific all year in those situations. 7 hits in this inning. Ties the season high. The Marlins had 7 hits against the Rockies in Denver in 1 inning. Only 2 away from the club record.
Hermida takes down low. Jeremy is 0 for 2.
Yeah, 7 hits in this inning, and the Marlins had just 1, a home run, prior to this inning. 37 pitches this inning. So the time on the bases and the long time in between has certainly affected Braden Looper.
For all the failings of the bullpen in the fifth, and Hayden Penn's 3 bases loaded walks really stung. Remember, the inning could have ended on the ground ball to Bonifacio. After that, the Brewers scored 2 more runs. That one skips away. Everybody moves up. Do the Marlins have an 8th hit in them in this inning?
It would be nice. A wild pitch by Looper, allowing both runners to move up.
If he loses Hermida, I don't know that he'd face Ugla. Jeremy stays alive. It's a good at bat.
But you know that Maka is doing everything possible to allow. Brewer fans are probably going nuts right now too, as Marlins fans were last inning. He's doing everything possible to try to get Looper through the 5th inning.
Two more wait.
But I think if Looper loses Hermida, Maka's got to go to his bullpen. Borderline, it was up. I like the approach, though, of Jeremy. It looks like he's really trying to stay back. The life of a major league manager. Handling a bullpen. I think if you look at the game over the last 30 years or so, probably one of the biggest differences that a manager has to do. You know, back 30, 40 years ago, you didn't have to worry about that bullpen too much with complete games. You had fewer men in the bullpen.
Great at bat.
The first 4 innings, Braden Looper threw 56 pitches. He's thrown 44 this inning.
This has been a 9-pitch at bat to Hermida. A 10-pitch walk, but maybe the last that Looper will face. Maka has to go to the pen. Looper knows it. Shakes his head. He cannot get the win here, but Maka, who saw Ugla hit it hard for a base hit against him, has to come get his starter. Here's Armoruni, called to the bullpen.
When you need a car, truck or van, who you gonna call? Marooney!
bases loaded. The Marlins are within 4, and a frustrated Braden Looper gives way to Seth McClung.
Good fastball, has a nice 12-6 curveball, but here's a great number for you, Rich. This year, Dan Uggla in bases loaded situations is 3 for 4 with 10 RBIs. And he does have 2 career grand slams. He hasn't hit one this year. He's due.
That's the good news. The bad news is the Brewers bullpen has been one of the best in baseball. Only the Red Sox and the Mets have better ERAs out of their pen.
And remember, it was Dan Uggla who started this inning with a solid line drive base hit into center field.
Is it just me, or does it feel like this 5th inning has taken about an hour?
It probably has. Both teams have batted around.
McClung spins one up there and gets a strike. Whammo. Two. Bases loaded. 2 down. Let's see what Uggla gets. Fastball. Strike 3 call. Down goes Uggla. McClung punches out to finish off a 5th inning in which the Marlins got on the board but are still 4 runs shy. (9-5) Brewers on top. Ladies, make your plans for the next Marlins Ladies Night Out, Friday, June 5th. Just $40, you get an invite to Ladies Night Out pregame event, a bullpen box ticket to the game, an official Ladies Night Out tank top, a drink coupon, meet and greet with a Marlins player, and much more. 305-626-SAVE. Cassie going to Ladies Night Out?
Yeah, Cassie's part of Ladies Night every time it's a part of Marlins baseball.
Cassie, our floor director. What does a floor director do? Well, before the game, she's a pregame host wrangler, making sure that Frank and Craig stay in line. And then during the game, she's up here just to make sure we stay in line.
Hey, by the way, they've changed, unfortunately for Brian Sanchez, they've changed that to an error on Looper. So take away his first major league hit. He does get the RBI, though.
Maybe that's why they didn't ask for the ball. They had a feeling that would be changed. Because had they asked for the ball and they'd taken it out of the play, they would be inclined to throw it back in play.
Bring it back out the next inning.
Yeah. Well, it's not a good start. Craig, can you improve upon this so far?
I don't know. It's been I hope it's not as long an inning here in the fifth as the sixth as it was in the fifth. There, that was the inning to have, I guess, in your office pool, guys. But I did want to talk about Alfredo Amezaga. We saw him around today, and he looks to be in a good mood. But unfortunately, there's no good news on his that deep bone bruise that he has. In fact, Freddie Gonzalez told us that it looks like they can't even say, "Hey, you're going to start taking ground balls in a couple of days." It just has not come around. And you remember when they first put him on the DL, they waited 4 or 5 days just in case they didn't have to DL him. So it's much worse, I think, than the team expected. And right now, no sign of when he's going to come back.
It's really frustrating for Alfredo because you see him around, he can't do anything. He just kind of wanders around, looks like a lost soul.
Mike Cameron's up. And he breaks his bat and drops one into left center field. Prince Fielder takes a big turn, and he is safe.
Good reactions by Chris Coughlin to think third base, see the turn. He's looking at third, then he sees the turn of Fielder, comes back with a strong throw, almost in time.
Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy in this one is 0 for 2. If you just stumbled upon us, the Brewers have a 9-5 lead. They scored 6 times in an ugly 5th inning. Kind of like that pitch. An inning where Sean West had run out of gas. And Freddie, with Burt Badenop throwing 5 innings yesterday in relief of Anibal Sanchez, Hayden Penn was the long man for this game, and so the Marlins went to Penn, and he ended up walking 4-3 with the bases loaded. De Aza goes back. Fielder is going to tag. So's Cameron, and both are going to move up.
No, that fly ball hit deep enough, and both runners, alert runners, went back to tag up and moved up easily.
Here's Bill Hall. Marlins infield creeping up. Might as well take a chance.
At this point of the game, you have to try to knock down some runs. You don't want to give the Brewers any more. You give them an easy run on an out.
0-2.
Looks like there's still rain in Washington.
Yeah, that. Who knows what that would do to the Giants' rotation, and if that rotation would stay on turn, if the Marlins would miss the big unit. Runs that fastball up and in and gets a strikeout of Paul.
That's a nice pitch and a needed strikeout in this situation. After the slider, up and in with the heater, and got the struggling Bill Hall. By the way, I think you were asking, Rich, that 5th inning, the top half took 25 minutes. The Marlins half, 26. 51 total minutes for inning number 5. And that from our crack staff, which is always on top of things.
Jason Kendall's going to get a free pass here. And that's because this is the exact same situation that Ken Maka finds himself.
And right now it looks like he's going to allow McClung because nobody's warming up in the bullpen.
Yep. And that's, the Marlins had to bring Sanchez up. Dale Swaim, the hitting coach, is telling him, take the weight off your bat and then approach the plate.
McClung with 3 at-bats this year, though, 0 for 3. What a disjointed type game this has been, with things that the managers have been forced to do because of their bullpens.
I can think of other adjectives, but
oh, I thought of a whole bunch of them before I said that one.
No, McClung's a .217 hitter.
He was a starter for a little bit in the big league, so he has had some at-bats. 5 career base hits.
A little tapper. Sanchez will flip it. And Bryant gets through the inning and leaves the bases loaded. Location. Please throw it down. It's up. And it's frozen in time. And a home run, a Frostproof Coors Light Freeze can.
Well, let's see what the Marlins can do here in the bottom of the 6th inning. If they can just kind of answer back, get a run, just keep it going. All of a sudden, if McClung has a real good inning, and then a little momentum shifts back to the Brewers.
The Marlins got some of that momentum back when they pieced together 4 runs in the 5th. There's Kiko Calero. Baker getting set to lead it off with De Aza. And then the pitcher spot due up, so the Marlins would like to be able to turn to a pinch hitter, and certainly will if they need it here.
And certainly have Ross Glode at the ready.
Bake takes down low from McClung. We told you that the Brewers bullpen very good, though with David Risky's injury, Jorge Julio's release, a bit of a wobble there, and all that can be traced back, Tommy, to the struggles of the rotation.
But the one guy who has been phenomenal, their closer, Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah, Hoffman 15 scoreless innings to open up this season. Baker swings and misses. Outside corner. Baker gets rung up. Baseball fans, $250,000 Mustang money tickets are on sale now. Register your non-winning tickets now through June 11th for a second chance to win great prizes that include a 2010 Ford Mustang V6 convertible, an ultimate Florida baseball weekend getaway, or $100 gas cards. De Aza fouls a pitch back.
Alejandro De Aza with a nice base hit in that 5th inning. Sharp singled into left field.
Marlins got 6 hits in that inning now that the Sanchez dribbler has turned to an error. Sanchez did get his first Major League RBI, though. Brett Carroll on deck. Wow. Right off the microphone. Oh.
It's like the dunk tank. Yeah, you hit that, guy goes in the tank.
Mark Butler, as we previously noted, is our audio guru, but does not have a fast enough trigger finger when he sees the ball hurtling at his microphone at 100 miles an hour to turn it down.
Still a multi-Emmy Award winner.
So many Emmys that they're scattered around his house in scattershot fashion. Paperweights, doorstops, bookends. Napkin holders. Two outs here in the 6th inning. Brett Carroll's coming up.
Yeah, I think if there had been some men on base, we talked about Ross Gload available, but with nobody on, we will see Brett Carroll, who got an opportunity last night to start the game, had 4 ABs and had a couple of base hits.
And the next time the Marlins see a lefty,
and they will see some in that San Francisco series.
which ones are kind of in question at this point?
Well, it could change, yeah.
Yeah, because the Giants and the Nationals are still delayed by rain. BC pops it up. Bill Hall makes a catch. Seth McClung looking good. The CBS 4 for 54 pack is the way to go to a ball game. You get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 soft drinks, and 2 programs. And it's for every Friday night home game. The next one, of course, this Friday, the Giants, 1-877 Marlins.
Now it becomes a little more conventional in the bullpen with you can get an inning for Kiko. Probably see Dan Meyer. But it's at 5th and 6th innings that are a pain.
Yeah.
So Kiko, who is the most used reliever in the big leagues, 31st appearance, 13,012. The attendance here.
He's on pace. The interesting number on Kiko. He's on pace for 92 appearances. That would be incredible. If he did that, he would shatter the club record for games set by Braden Looper, 78 appearances. There's a good chance he'll surpass 78.
If the creek don't rise and his arm stays intact.
And they have been quality appearances. Opponents batting 165 against Kiko.
Marlins were down 9-1 at one point in this game. Giants and Nationals are scheduled to play again tomorrow night.
And if they don't play tonight, they'll have to play a doubleheader tomorrow.
Just in reading, it sounds as if they feel there's a window at 10 o'clock.
There's a window everywhere.
And so they're still.
I love that term.
They're still waiting on that. They want to get that game in tonight.
Nicely done. Good reactions by Kiko Calero.
There's a window here in the 7th inning for us to check in with Craig Minervini. Craig?
Thank you. Yes, Barry, Hillary, and Jenny came by from the Quest Trace, so they just practiced a cheer. You have a cheer for us?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hey players, hey fans, hey everybody up in the stands, let's jump and shout and show 'em what we're talking about. Let's rock 2, 3, 4 and roll, woo baby. Let's rock 2, 3, 4 and roll, woo baby. Marlins, make way, clear the path, step aside, go all the way back. Hey Brewers, say you. Those Marlins are coming through, make way. Clap your hands, everybody make some sound. Yeah, we are the Marlins, the best team around.
That's very good. There's more. They told me this was short.
Marlins!
Let's ask the judges. Simon, what do you think, Simon?
A 10. A 5. A 10.
Yeah, all right. Two of them liked you a lot. You're coming back next week. All right.
Are we on TV?
Good. For sure. Are we on TV?
I love you. And Jay.
All right. Sequester Trace Middle School. 3 fine cheerleaders with the judges here. Our own little American Idol.
They have a future in cheerleading.
But they came up with this. They worked on it for about an inning or two, and they came back and they were perfect. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Marley. We love you.
That's your airtime's up. Back to the game.
I like the little hand clap wave thing
You
at
know,
the end.
if they just came up with that within an inning's time, that's pretty good.
Innovative.
Casey McGee is how he pronounces it. Kiko Calero is how he pronounces it.
And slider is his calling card. Boy, that's a good one. That's one of the reasons Kiko Calero has 33 strikeouts now out of the bullpen. That puts him in the top 5 amongst relievers.
Here is Ryan Braun. One of the things that strikes you about Ryan Braun when you meet him in person and talk to him is that he's not this hulking strong man who's 6'5" with. He's not Ryan Howard. He's not Prince Fielder, who's only 5'10" but weighs 270. You know, walking down the street, if you were to see him, you wouldn't guess that he is one of the better home run hitters in the game.
He's very similar in style and in build to Evan Longoria, a power hitting third baseman with the Rays, who's got a little hamstring issue right now.
Yeah, Braun is 6'1", 200 pounds.
And he can hit. Not just a power hitter, but a 300 hitter as well. We talked about last year, 37 home runs. His career average coming into this year, 301.
Fielder. The relationship between Fielder and his father, a 3-time All-Star, not all that close. His father not only had a good major league career, but also played over in Japan.
Had some good years over in Japan as well.
Prince has got a couple hits. He's 2 for 3. Got him leading. Got him out. Braun was going to steal second, and Calero picked him off. It's a lonely feeling.
Back and watch, but I do remember that home run hit by Ryan Braun, a shot. That was early in the game. I do remember this blast off the bat of Jorge Cantu. Some of the stuff I'm trying to forget, though, happened in the 5th inning. An error by Hanley Ramirez. A boot by Bonifacio. Sean West exits. In comes Hayden Penn. Could not throw strikes. Brewers score runs on multiple walks with bases loaded. Fans get upset. Looper with an error. The Marlins start to come back. A base hit by Cantu. Looper's upset. He can't believe it. And that's about what happened in the 5th inning, which took 51 minutes.
Mike Cameron just caught a baseball 410 feet from home plate. Chris Coughlin.
Well, this ball hit a long way, but Cameron, as you pointed out, just kind of glides after balls and tracked that one down with ease.
Seth McClung throws a strike. Bonifacio. Bonifacio's been on base twice tonight. 1 for 2 with a walk. This is Seth McClung's game to win. Remember, Braden Looper could not get through the 5th.
Well, you can hear McClung when he delivers that fastball with the grunt. We'll have to see if he grunts on the curveball. Fastball grunt. You would think with the score in this game and the way it's gone that each team would have about 12 or 13 hits. The Brewers have 7 and the Marlins have 7.
There's 3 errors up on the board.
He kind of a little breathe.
Grunt,
yeah, a little heavy breathe on the curveball and a grunt on the fastball.
think the ball's out of well, it's a bad analogy leading into that replay. 0-2 the count on Bonifacio. I think the ball's out of his hand before you could discern which type of grunt.
Yeah, it's a little late at that point.
Little flare, and Bonifacio has a base hit.
A couple of hits tonight for Emilio Bonifacio.
All right, here's Hanley now.
We haven't talked too much about tomorrow's matchup, Rich. We got Josh Johnson against Dave Bush. JJ trying to make it 5-1.
Hanley's got a hit, takes it at the knees. Well, here's the matchup: Bush and Johnson. Bush, a guy that flirted with a no-hitter in Philadelphia, got to the 8th inning, and Matt Stairs broke it up.
Remember that start of Josh Johnson's in Milwaukee with Stetter getting loose. That was the outing he had just the 4 innings. Remember, he came off out of the game after 4 innings with just a tired shoulder.
Post-Coors Field syndrome. Hall, and out there, and out there. Seth McClung certainly deserves the win the way he's pitching. Sighting. Marlins all-time leader at home. Just as middle relievers keep their team in the game, you two can stay in the game with Just for Men hair color.
Now remember when Kiko Calero picked off Ryan Braun, Prince Fielder was the hitter. So here we go, starting the 8th inning with Fielder.
Cantu. And Calero worked such a brief 7th that allows him to come out here. Here's Cameron. Cameron walked back in that 5th inning. Singled in the 6th. And a quick strike. All-star teams still being debated.
That's good, though. I like to see the fans voting.
I think she's the baseball fan in that pair there. She knows who's hot, who's not, who's having the good season. She can't decide between Adrian Gonzalez and Albert Pujols right now.
Yeah, I actually think she's telling him who to vote for.
That's what I think. Kiko misses up. Braden Looper 4 2/3, 101 pitches. Sean West 4 1/3, 87 pitches. That's a nasty slider. The NBA Finals start tomorrow night, and after the game, Sun Sports will have special post-game coverage with post-game press conferences, in-depth analysis, and it begins tomorrow night right after the game. Good luck to Stan Van Gundy, Dwight Howard, and the rest of the Magic.
Heard an interesting analysis today in an interview with Jeff Van Gundy.
I was his backup point guard in junior high.
There you go. Yeah, Jeff was critiquing the series. See, now all their friends have called and said, you know what, we saw you voting, we saw you on TV.
Who'd you pick, Pujols or Adrian Gonzalez?
All right, let's see if we can control this. Hands up if you voted for Hanley. See, we should have hands up if you voted for Hanley. Okay, did you? Hands up. Everybody raise your hands if you voted for Hanley. All right, now the guy watching at home on TV is going to.
It's a little bit of a delay.
There's a delay. So if you voted for Hanley, all right. Yeah, okay.
That's nicely done. That's 3 votes.
Yeah, good job.
See, there's a litany of things that we could ask them to do at this point, but we're better off focusing on the game. Politics down low. What was Jeff Van Gundy's perspective?
Well, you know, he certainly said, I can't root against my brother. He picked the Lakers in his prediction, but he said it'll be interesting to see the game plan and how Stan maps things out to try to control Kobe Bryant.
Well, if Jameer Nelson can play, the rumors are that he's practiced and he might have a chance to play. That's the amazing thing about their run, is that they've done it without one of the better players, their second best player, their point guard, Jameer Nelson. Fastball's up, and it's 2-1.
We're just happy that there was still somebody watching to talk to that guy on the phone to let him know what we were talking about. So that's great. Nice going for voting, too.
Curveball popped up. Cantu's over. It's 2-2. 9-5 ball game. Brewers got out in front early, and we're up 9-1. The Marlins have cut it to 4. Both bullpens a little thin. Kiko Calero. Bill Hall drops his bat. And Calero is outstanding. Time to take a look at our defensive play of the game, brought to you by Home Depot. Kiko Calero with Ryan Braun at first.
Yeah, he caught Braun leaning. He had a step towards second. Good quick move. Here goes Braun. Here he comes back, and he's done.
Tried the swim move.
Yeah.
Well, Seth McClung is Burke Badenhop tonight, because Braden Looper couldn't get past the 5th, and McClung came out of the bullpen. He made 3 perfect pitches to Dan Uggla to strike him out with the bases loaded in the 5th, and then he cruises through the 6th and the 7th, and here he is in the 8th. Cantu takes outside. Two for 3 is Cantu, including his 9th home run, driven in 41. If you look for other Marlins that could be all-stars, say Hanley gets voted in at short, Cantu is obviously someone that deserves consideration.
And also certainly because the pitchers are named by the manager and his staff, and sometimes the league helps out. Certainly Josh Johnson.
I know that middle relievers rarely get selected, and if they do, it's normally on a contending team. But Kiko Calero, with a league-leading 31 appearances and an ERA right around 2. Cantu gets rung up.
Yeah, you're right about that. A middle reliever occasionally. There's that low strike. It's been off and on as a strike. Sometimes yes, sometimes not. But I think if most most of the time it's going to be from a contending team, but Kiko Calero has had, to this point, an all-star year working out of the bullpen effectively and often.
One ball, one strike, one out. Hermida 0 for 2. Hardy.
Yeah, we talked about McClung. He's had almost 50 career starts as a major leaguer. Not with Milwaukee. Did have 12 starts last year, though, with the Brewers. 17 with Tampa Bay in 05. So lately he hasn't stretched out a lot, but he's had opportunities when he has pitched many innings.
And his biggest at bat, McClung's, was Ugla's. Remember, he came in the game, the bags were loaded, 2 outs. Ugla took 3 pitches for strikes, and that was it. Two and one with 2 outs. Bet you there's some, and we'll have to check on this tomorrow, but there's probably some pretty good back and forth in the Brewers clubhouse about the NBA Finals, because Ryan Braun is a big Laker fan.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier.
Prince Fielder grew up in the Orlando area. So did Ricky Weeks, but he's hurt right now. McClung is a max effort guy. If there was any doubt, just to listen as he pitches. Jake Peavy-like. Ugla.
No.
Get out of here. Upper deck.
Into the runway.
Exit stage left. His name is Dan Ugla.
Wow. Oh, that was an upper deck shot that got out in a hurry. Well, a high fastball. Dan Ugla would have loved to have seen that pitch his last at bat. One bounce. See you later. In the tunnel.
On the turnpike.
Well, here's the interesting situation now. With that home run, it now makes it, should it go to the 9th inning the same score, a save situation.
Oh, hell's bells.
So it makes it an opportunity for Trevor Hoffman. Now, that is not Trevor Hoffman. It's Mitch Stetter, the sidewinding lefty.
Yeah, the Marlins were hoping not to see Trevor Hoffman this whole 4-game series. He closed every one of the 3 games in the 3-game sweep.
Yeah, faced 9 batters and retired all 9.
Good to see Ugla's got the stroke back, because his RBI numbers have been solid throughout the year. His home run numbers are now at 11. He's got 2 more hits tonight.
That's one of the quicker upper deck shots. Usually it takes a while to get that upper deck. All right, make a right at the Warfield Tunnel. No. Yeah, there you go. Nah, he's got a bad read.
It looks like they're looking at him. He looks like that character that Michael Douglas played in that movie where he was
falling down.
Yeah,
all timer right there.
Where he was just really angry.
He was very angry. It's a good call.
See, he's really angry now. He didn't get the ball. That's a pretty good pitch by Seth McClung. Counts 2-2.
Well, as you pointed out, he's done his job. 45 pitches for McClung. If he gets through this inning, he will have worked 3 1/3. Yeah, see, the security officer up there has the ball.
Here comes Michael Douglas. I'll have pickles with that.
Sorry, sir, we stopped serving breakfast.
Yes. See, Ameziga is still imitating Dan Ugla.
And he's just describing that whole thing to Anibal Sanchez. Now, here's Uggs.
There's his hands.
You get the hands going, and then pow. Hey, see, Ameziga's got it going. A little over-exaggeration, see?
Just a bit.
Imitation is always over-exaggeration.
We are still contemplating having a night where we just follow Ameziga around the ballpark. Ross Glode's out in right field. Dan Myers on the mound. Jason Kendall's at the plate. Kiko Calero went 2 scoreless innings. Ryan Sanchez went an inning and a third. He did not give up a run. 0-2 to Kendall.
And yes, Trevor Hoffman is warming up in that Brewer bullpen.
Meyer with a good pitch. You know, Meyer's numbers too. We were talking about Calero's numbers this season. Dan Meyer's year, he does not have a decision, but his ERA is a slender 2.35. One and two. When Meyer strikes out Jason Kendall.
See, and the thing about Amezaga, because he's a switch hitter, he can imitate lefties and righties and feels comfortable.
See, I could see him in about 10 or 15 years, once he retires, having a talk show in Mexico.
In Mexico. Oh, it would be awesome.
The Alfredo Amezaga Show. They would have music and dancers. You know how Ellen gets up and dances at the start of her show? It's not always the prettiest of things, but it's entertaining. Could you imagine a Amezaga at the start of his show? Here's Corey Hart. So it looks like we're going to see the future Hall of Famer, Trevor Hoffman. When we get to the bottom of the ninth, Hoffman has gone 15 straight scoreless innings. Fourth in Brewers history by relievers to start a season.
Some good changeups from Dan Meyer. First two pitches to Corey Hart.
Oh, and 2. Another one. How about that? Dan Meyer, the bullpen after Hayden Penn has been outstanding. Here he comes. Ring that bell. Trevor Hoffman saved all 3 of those ball games. Of course, he comes into AC/DC's Hell's Bells. And we thought, you know, going into that series, it would be odd to see Hoffman come into that music in that ballpark wearing this uniform. But you know what? To Milwaukee's credit, that place was an absolute madhouse.
Oh, it was tremendous.
And when the first bell rang and the doors flew open and Hoffman walked out calm, cool, and collected, perfect.
Boy, and you saw those unbelievable numbers. He's given up just 6 hits in those 15 innings.
Piazza takes high.
567 career saves.
Not many pitchers in the game's history have 567 appearances. It's 1-1.
And we talked to a lot of people in Milwaukee, and the one thing that he's done a little bit more of, even though his fastball isn't what it used to be, he's using his fastball a little more. He still has that devastating changeup. There's the fastball.
And it gets through McGee. Diaz is aboard.
Ball hit hard. McGee gets down to try to backhand it. And it's going to be an error on the second baseman, Casey McGee.
E. McGee. E4. Glowed now. Well, there's 2 ways to look at it. Hoffman has been unhittable. 15 straight scoreless innings to start the season. Or he's due.
You know, over the years, you've looked at Trevor Hoffman, and he's always had that couple of outings that have just been horrendous.
Our Toyota trend. Nine hits tonight. Fielder gets 1 out. Diaz rests at second. You're right. There have been stretches where all of a sudden people say it's over. He's done. There's no way he can keep doing it. Here's Coghlan now. 16 seasons with the Padres. Hoffman, of course, was a Marlin. Marlins chose him in the expansion draft.
Yeah, originally drafted by the Reds as a shortstop.
Out of the University of Arizona. 6-time All-Star. Marlins traded him to San Diego. The Gary Sheffield trade. And although they were not able to enjoy Hoffman's heroics as a closer, they certainly enjoyed Gary Sheffield's heroics for the World Championship in '97.
Our crack staff has been on top of their game tonight, and we're told that Hoffman, in his 946 career games, has only given up 3 runs or more 33 times. But the rally caps are alive.
So's the changeup.
Boy, the arm action and then the sink. The changeup just drops out of sight. Been a tough night for Chris Coghlan. 0 for 4 coming into this at bat.
See if he gets into the changeup. He did, and he waited on it. Hoffman's changeup is good enough that he will double up and triple up on it.
He'll go after hitters an entire at bat and use the changeup.
Nope.
Just tried to spot that fastball there. And that's about it for his fastball. I see 86 miles an hour. Well, one time he was 96 miles an hour.
Bonifacio. Diaz out at second. 1 out. Hoffman trying to close it. Freddie Gonzalez and the Marlins put in a tough situation tonight with the short start by West and the struggles of Hayden Penn. Kendall gets a wake-up call. You got to think in terms of battery, number of appearances, pitcher, catcher. This has to rank up there with a guy like Jason Kendall and Hoffman.
That pitch just floats out of his hand. The arm says fastball, and then it just floats and disappears.
So the Marlins need Bonifacio to get on.
Let's see if he tries to bunt. Just tries to get on that way to get Hanley Ramirez to the plate.
There is Hanley. Bonifacio's been on base 3 times tonight. Smacks it to McGee, who stops this one. Trevor Hoffman with his 14th save. And the Hall of Famer is having an all-star season for the Milwaukee Brewers. And the Brewers win this ball game, one that got away from the fish early and not enough outs to catch up.